Hey ThriveHer family, we're back.
I'm your host Alexis Walter.
And I'm your host Tania Squires, and welcome to
The Collective Conversation. In the month of March, we celebrate Women's History Month. Here, we have our limited podcast series where we'll be discussing all things womanhood. Today, we have two special guests. We have Cheyenne Walker, a junior at Central State University, also a member of the ThriveHer Leadership Academy, and we also have Lovey Stewart.
Josette Levy is a supply chain manager at a Fortune 500 company and the founder of JB Signature Collection. An entrepreneur since the age of 13, she has built her career on vision, discipline, and purpose. Her passion for uplifting the next generation led her to expand into girls' empowerment space through her annual I'm Just a Girl conference. A proud graduate of North Carolina A&T State University and a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Josette balances corporate leadership with community impact. While she's always on the move, her mission remains the same: to pour into young girls so they feel seen, loved, heard, and empowered to become everything they're meant to be. Welcome, Josette and Cheyenne.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Why don't we start by telling us a little bit about yourself? Lovey, do you want to start?
Yes, of course. So I am a supply chain manager at a top company here in Cincinnati. But I have had one road for the past 2 years, from graduating through across the country and also starting IJAC from as a subsidiary of my business, JB Signature Collection. So I'm really excited to see what is in store, empowering me to use, and I'm so happy to talk about it here.
Awesome. And Cheyenne?
Yes, I'm also a young entrepreneur, and I'm currently trying to graduate, so that's my only focus right now.
Absolutely. Yes, as you should. For sure. Okay. Well, today we're going to be having a conversation, very casual, but we just want to discuss definitely entrepreneurship, but womanhood and how that has impacted your journey over time.
Yeah.
So, Lovey, I have a few questions for you. So we know your mother and your aunt are both entrepreneurs, and so obviously that has impacted some of your experiences growing up. So tell us a little bit more about that.
I grew up in a gym. My mom owns Do Like Fitness Camp in Cleveland, Ohio. She's owned it for almost 20 years. So I've never seen my parents work a corporate job. So me now working corporate is a complete culture shock to me. But just seeing how they're able to create their own schedules, they do have definitely trials and tribulations throughout, but the way that they push through it kind of helps me see that if you want something to work, you have to put the work in.
Absolutely.
And just the amount of time and effort that they're able to put into their business just inspired me to be able to pivot that into something that I believe as well.
Yeah.
So, I feel like both my parents are in entrepreneurship, and I gotta get back there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I would love to make a little connection. So I'm curious, what do your parents do, Shy?
My mom is
You don't have to give us all the details.
she's a home care worker. So
Okay.
she goes to people's houses, she takes care of them, mainly older people or children with special needs.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's retired. He used to be senior coach.
Oh, okay, awesome. So it's kind of like both sides of the coin, and I'm great that you kind of explain that a little bit more for me, because I'm curious. I think a lot of the times in entrepreneurship, it's very common for people to have the mindset of, oh, I'm never working for anyone else. Never work for anyone else, and almost makes seeming like, working in a corporate field is a bad thing sometimes. And from my perspective, that's how I see it sometimes. How do you feel like your family has reacted to you going into the corporate field, and you come from so many entrepreneurs?
Oh, for sure. So my mom actually started she worked for Progressive.
Okay.
And Cleveland, which is huge, but by the time I was in kindergarten, she started her own business.
Yeah.
So even though I have very vivid memories of being in her office, I didn't really see her do that throughout my childhood.
Yeah.
So I think they wanted to push me to go into corporate and get my feet wet.
Yeah.
But then when it's time, go out and do your own thing. I definitely don't believe in going all in without having a footing. So I feel like corporate is giving me my footing right now.
Definitely. I agree with that. And I feel like that also kind of talks about how you were saying you're trying to finish school. Like, although you may want to do entrepreneurship full time once you, I don't want to say grow up, but like once you actually graduate and like,
you can say
yeah.
that. I'm just for now, so
I don't feel
Yeah, no, not at all. But so when you grow up, you may want to do entrepreneurship full time, but I definitely feel like it's great that you're also pursuing an education as well. And you may even be, looking into some work experience too, because I feel like that kind of creates a little bit of a structure to your life. It helps you learn some valuable lessons. Would you agree?
Yes, I do actually agree. I never really thought about it from that point of view.
Yeah. Good. Awesome.
All right. So overall, how has your view changed since switching sides and working with young girls?
So when I started my business when I was 13, the mission was to turn a bad hair day into a beautiful one.
Okay.
So I feel like it started with me empowering young women. I started by sewing headbands to give you a little bit of background. So it was like, sometimes our hair is just not really presentable when you go outside, but all you need is a headband, a headscarf, and just kind of hold it around. And I feel like as Black women, our natural hair is not embraced. Especially growing up. I don't feel like I really saw Black women wear their natural hair until I stepped foot on the HBCU campus. And I started really embracing my natural hair and saying, okay, I do have options. I don't have to wear my hair pressed out all the time.
Yes.
But I still feel like I've always been tied into empowering other girls that look like me, because we all grow up with insecurities, and so it's like, why not build each other up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love how you talk about starting your headband business and expanding it into clothing and accessories. Are you still selling your clothing, and does iJack have your full attention right now?
iJack has my full attention.
Okay.
Now, I will say I love the fashion accessories world. I love to get dressed. I'm now.
You look cute.
Yeah. I love outfits.
No, I do love to dress up. But I feel like when you're a one-man band all the time, everything doesn't get your full attention.
Yeah.
So trying to be the marketing person, the creator, just having all these ideas flow is just hard sometimes, and still fulfilling the orders and making sure that we're interacting with customers. I kind of lost the passion for it because it was just me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But iJack definitely has my full attention because I feel like it can be so much bigger than what I'm even imagining right now.
Yeah.
Like my full trust and faith is in God right now to just, because I know it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And the girls need it.
Yeah.
I needed it.
I definitely needed it when I was in middle school. I love it.
Yes, and I feel like now, like when we were growing up, we had Hannah Montana, we had Monster, we had OG girls, we had things like
OG girls,
Like you had all the girls in Atlanta. Yeah, all the girls in Atlanta that was in fashion, they were singing, that we kind of looked up to. But now, what do the girls have?
I agree. Yeah.
It's like we're growing up TikTok, and TikTok is not pushing positive things.
Yeah.
When we had YouTube, you had to search things. Now it's just given to them.
Yeah.
So I think we really need to hone in on creating a space where they have a positive influence rather than the negative stuff in the music and social media.
And stuff that's for them.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, what happened to the Hannah Montana parties?
Yeah, seriously.
I had a Justin Bieber party. I was in love with Justin Bieber. I had a Justin Bieber party. It was all decked out. And she the girl. That's why I want to go to Barcelona.
We're gonna have our experience. We're gonna have our experience. I know you want to.
So what ways do you feel like your job is also helping your business?
Financially, of course. But I feel like my job now, and it could just be because of the team and the department that I work in, but I have a lot of flexibility. There's times where I have to say I really don't have the mental capacity to just dress up and go to work today.
Yeah.
And it's completely okay with my manager to be like, you can stay home, take the time that you need. And there's some times where, like my lunch break, or even if I have a 15-minute break between meetings, where I can say, oh, I have this idea for my business, let me write it down, let me call this person, as opposed to just being locked into an office and having to be, full in 100% on, my corporate job work instead of having a little bit of attention to my business as well.
And that's important because, I feel like in today's society, work-life balance is not taught. So being able to juggle that's very, very key, especially being a business owner and working with a Fortune 500 company. So that's important.
I heard this advice once that said, someone had inquired, I think it was via Twitter or something like that, and they were saying, how do you have time for anything else when you're working a full-time job? And a lot of people were just saying, you just got to do it. You have to do things tired. You have to do things exhausted. And I think the reality is sometimes that, you know, we think that we're going to have this time where we're like, okay, I can sit down and be in front of a computer screen. And the reality is that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to do things tired. You have to do things exhausted, sleepy, rushing. But when you have your heart in something, you're going to do it no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah, for
Can
sure.
I add to that?
Yeah.
College life, that is like the prime definition of college life.
Yeah.
Because you literally have to rush, especially for an organization, you gotta rush to do this, you have events this day, you have to go by this time, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I feel like us being college students prepare us to set us up for a work-life balance because you want to do so many stuff, and you being an entrepreneur, you doing it since you've been 13, you kind of have a better way of maneuvering yourself, but it still gets challenging at times. So
In college, it taught, I don't know about y'all, but it taught me like just the juggle, the grind, the
Time
like
management.
time
For
management
sure.
for sure. Because like I couldn't imagine not going to college and not like having that like example for me, like because corporate, nobody prepares you for corporate at all. Like you're
They
not
don't.
prepared at all. So
No,
It's a complete shit. What do you mean I can't go to the party?
exactly.
I want to go to the block party. Like, I don't have time for my 101. That's funny because I have my 101s at 2 p.m. So I'm like, I'm going to the block party. So I'm so sorry. So that was just really funny to me. So tell me a little bit more about what influences do you think, outside of, you know, your mom, your aunt, or, you know, the things that have inspired you to be an entrepreneur, what influences have kept you going just throughout all the struggles that may be in the corporate space or just things that the world throws at you in general?
That's a good question.
that is deep too. I don't know. I'm with Levy on this. I feel like God is my tutor, and so I rely on Him so much, and that He gives me the vision. It's up to me to connect the dots.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's how I motivate myself because I know He's always going to make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't have to stress myself out and look at it like, oh, this is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's not His will. It's not for me to do. So that's where I feel like we connect even more. So
I'm feeling my God.
okay.
I do get emotional because when I came up with this vision for IJ, I was in the darkest place of my life. So I was living in California, no family, no friends really. I made one friend there. But I really was like, my mental health was going down and down and down. But God gave me a vision. And I just kept writing. The journal is like what brings me, like, this is my inspiration. It's like, God gave me this vision. And I felt like I didn't have to try to come up with anything. I was just writing and going, and, oh, what if this turns into this? And even though I wrote the vision down and I still felt like I'm not capable of this, like, who's going to want to hear me? Who's going to want to listen to me? I didn't feel like I was ready for it.
Yeah.
But no matter what happened in my life throughout the rest of the year, I always, like, the vision never left my mind.
Yeah.
So I think God is always reminding me of, like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, even times now I'm like, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to do, but like Him putting people around me in my environment that's pushing me, like me talking about this right now would give me inspiration.
Yes,
It's like if God did not place people in my life that would help me be in spaces like this,
Yeah.
then it just wouldn't happen.
And
Yeah.
I really love that you brought up friendship, and I would just like to take a moment to touch on that because, and so I feel like you might even be able to take some advice from this. So for me, I am not originally from Dayton. I graduated out from Dayton, and I was fortunate enough to still have a lot of community from undergrad with me. But I really think about had I not gone, you know, out of state or something like that. So you're originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Cleveland, Ohio.
That's what I said.
And you went to North Carolina for undergrad, and then you said you moved to California, and you now have relocated to Cincinnati, Ohio. How have you dealt with, you know, not having your family any closer than about 4 hours away?
I'm fine. But I think the hardest was me being in California. Me doing undergrad in a different state kind of set me up for being able to, you know, move away and feel fine.
Yeah.
I still, like, my parents still come down. I'll go visit my family. But those 4 years in college really did it. Like, the first semester was a little hard, you're a little homesick, but once you really find your home away from home, you're fine.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always pushing everybody, go out of state, because you don't want to be 30-something with kids and a husband.
Yeah.
It's way more risk for you to move across the country.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As opposed to being in college, it's just like, you don't like it, whatever.
Exactly, and I can touch that because I'm from Detroit. I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away fan. But I didn't want to go to school, so my mom forced me, and she wanted me to go far away. So I'm glad I went to Central, because if I would have stayed home, I would have been stuck. So to your point, like it's important to go away, go experience different things that you wouldn't experience in your hometown. So, yeah.
All right, let's get into some topics. So a topic that I have for you all is women supporting women. In your experience, what does genuine support between women really look like, and where do you think that we still need to do better?
Supporting without receiving anything in return. I think a lot of times people are like, okay, well, I helped her, or I'm going to help her, what am I getting? And it's just like, you should just do it out of the kindness of your heart, and I think we're missing that, softness and just sacrifice. From, I don't know, it just, our social media just does not help with the support. It's always nitpicking somebody, and it's just like, why don't you just help out the kindness of your heart? You don't have to, receive anything, you don't have to see a benefit, but as long as it's benefiting someone else, like, you should be okay with that.
Because it goes to like a topic that was like months ago, but people were talking about what it means to be a girl's girl, to your point. So it's like, when I was reading the comments, I'm like, women nowadays, like it's like we're up against each other always. It's like a competition, and I hate it. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. And, I think we kind of like mentioned this in our podcast a little earlier, was that sometimes being a girl's girl means having hard conversations with your friends. Of course, don't go have a hard conversation with a random stranger, but I think it's important to, look out your friends, and also look out for your friends, and then also defend your friends. But also, if you need to say something to your friend in private, say that to them. That can go a long way. And we can all learn something from someone. And I'm a strong believer that everyone can learn something from someone, whether they're young or old. So, Chad, I can learn something from you. You may be younger than me, but that doesn't mean I can't learn anything from you, and vice versa. So, for sure. What about for you? How do you feel like, women support each other?
I don't know. I feel like me personally, I've always had a support system, so I've always looked for that in friends. Especially going to school, it made me look for that within like my room suite or somebody, and like it always turned out bad. So like now it's more so like, oh, like do I trust this person right off the bat? Like do I have to wait to see their true colors? Like so like being in school and trying to find a support system is so hard. Especially trying to find someone the same age as me, or like within the same bracket, or that's just going through what I'm going through. It's more harder to find that support because more people are closed off in college, or they stay in their rooms, they don't go out, they're antisocial. So it's just a lot of factors for that.
But, I think that you bring up a good topic, and I think that it's important for us to guard our hearts, but also be open to new friendships. And the reality is that sometimes we'll be hurt by people, whether that's in romantic relationships or platonic relationships. But, I never want, at least for myself, I try not to create a hard guard, because I want to keep space open for people, and just because someone hurt me doesn't mean that everyone else will.
Okay, so you talked about social media previously, but do you think social media has helped or hurt young girls' confidence, and what could we do as women model like healthy self-worth?
Yes, I feel like social media has definitely hurt the confidence of not just young girls, it can be older women as well, because they feel like younger girls are surpassing them. I feel like we as women have to pour into ourselves more. We have to affirm our beauty to ourselves, not to anyone else. We have to focus on building our own self up before we try to tear someone else down. And I think social media is constantly nitpicking every little thing we do, how our hair is, oh, there's a flyaway. I think it's like we have to focus on our own selves and our hearts. So we as women have to just start supporting each other more. just so we can show young girls that we cannot do anything without community and without Black women.
Yeah.
Womanhood, period. But we truly have to like dive into our own community.
Yeah, because it's like we keep up. People are starting to keep up with the Joneses. Like, I want this because they got it.
Yeah.
Like, I ended up having to unfollow the Shade Room because they were doing like
too.
this little like this or that. Like,
Yeah.
around the Grammys time, like comparing people's, I hated it because it's just like,
Yeah.
what's the purpose? The Grammys is something that's supposed to be embodying something totally different than what we're doing, or just the Shade Room period. I just had to.
Yeah, I did too. I couldn't do it.
It's like, and you don't know, like sometimes people can be designed down head to toe and they can be broke.
And it's fake. Because that's great fakes.
We're
That's great
losing
fakes.
the genuine in things.
Oh
Like,
my gosh,
we're not,
yes.
no one's being genuine, no one's being authentically themselves. Like, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
Like high school, we was wearing Chuck Taylors and bags.
Girl, I cannot imagine some of the high, and I feel like even when we were in high school, that was kind of the beginning.
Yeah.
So girl,
And I kind of hated it because I went to a high school where that was the comparison was the norm. Like, and I hated I went to Cass Tech in Detroit, and I just hated it because it's like we always had to like, who rocking the latest truth, like at a young age.
yeah,
At a young age, that really messes with your mental. So especially now with how social media is just so like out there, like it's not good.
no, it's not.
So let's dive into like an advice question. What's the difference between being stuck in your past, thinking you're healing, but repeating the cycle versus knowing you're healing?
Good question.
Okay. What's the difference between being stuck in your past, thinking you're healing, but repeating the cycle versus knowing that you're healing?
That's a great question.
When you know that you're healing, you act different, you feel different, you think different. And I'm gonna say you think different, you think different. There's times where we think we're healed until something triggers us. But are you going to think the way that you thought 3 years ago, or you have a new way of thinking?
Facts.
So I think we constantly have to just grow and evolve and constantly pour into ourselves. Because if you don't, you're gonna be back into those old ways.
Absolutely.
Thinking you're healed when you're really not.
That's oh my God, that was amazing.
But also kind of putting yourself in positions to test you sometimes.
Ooh,
Yes.
Like sometimes we don't want to do it. We just rely on things to play out how it is.
Yeah.
But we need to see, are we really healed or do we just think we're healed?
Because it's very easy when things are out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
You know, and when they come back into sight, you gotta go into like a shock, and it's very easy to revert back into your old ways. That was so good. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever heard it like been put that way before. It's great, yeah.
I don't even know what I said.
Well, ladies, thank you guys so much for being here. This was a really great conversation that I enjoyed a lot.
I agree. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was an amazing conversation, and I hope it reaches someone.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, y'all. This is more than just a podcast. This is a collective. See you in the next episode.
Bye.